Hi, welcome back to Navigating the Periphery. My name is Deborah, and today it's just going to be me. I am flying solo. Philip and I wanted to have a segment of the show, which is an extension of our regular episode, but focusing on a parent's perspective. It's going to be called Navigating a Mom's Perspective. So I can potentially address questions that parents may have, whether it be about special services in a school setting, trying to get your son or daughter seen by a doctor or specialist, or any other questions you guys may have. So please leave us comments below if you have any questions. Today I'm going to talk about navigating life, a child's mental health diagnosis. A parent's perspective on their child's mental health diagnosis can be very complex and deeply emotional. Each parent's experience is unique, shaped by their background, their relationship with their child, and their understanding of mental health and mental illness. However, some common themes often emerge in how parents or mothers navigate and perceive their child's mental health journey. First and foremost, I want to stress how blessed I feel that my son Philip's diagnosis was a treatable medical condition and not another serious medical diagnosis such as a brain tumor, which would have caused similar symptoms, especially in the short amount of time that Philip's psychosis emerged. It's important to be seen by physicians and have other medical diagnoses ruled out before a mental illness is diagnosed. Of course, my initial reaction was one of shock and confusion. Many parents may initially feel shocked or confused upon hearing their child's mental illness diagnosis. This reaction can stem from a lack of prior knowledge about the specific condition or mental health in general, or from a disbelief that their child is experiencing such challenges at all. However, it did make a lot of sense to me at the time when I look back at it now. Philip's symptoms came on pretty fast. In 2020, there was so much going on in the world. Philip was a full-time, on-campus college student, and the world was dealing with the COVID-19 pandemic. So there were the lockdowns and shutdowns and online school, and the whole world was changing. The world was in turmoil due to the COVID-19 pandemic. Aside from the shock, I felt a lot of guilt and self-blame. It's not uncommon for parents to experience feelings of guilt or self-blame, or blame themselves for their child's mental health issues. They might wonder if something they did or didn't do contributed to the situation. Even though mental health disorders are complex and rarely caused by any single one factor. What upset me at the time was when I found out I was pregnant with Philip, I went through extensive genetic testing to ensure that Philip would be healthy. So I thought I covered all my bases. So this made Philip's diagnosis all the more shocking. Now, please remember, as we discussed in our first episode, Philip was diagnosed with obsessive compulsive disorder and generalized anxiety disorder at 8 years old. So I was used to the world of a mental health diagnosis and medication having to be taken on the regular basis to manage those two conditions. So this new diagnosis, compounded with the original diagnosis, was a bit shocking. In a future episode, we're going to try to uncover if there's a link or a precursor to being diagnosed with OCD and developing schizoaffective disorder from childhood to adulthood. So Philip is going to do some research on that, and we'll get back to you in a future episode. Of course, now I was extremely worried about Philip's future and how his diagnosis would affect his everyday life. as any parent would be. Concerns about the future are prevalent. Parents often worry about how the diagnosis will affect their child's life, including their social interactions, ability to have relationships, educational opportunities, and just their overall happiness. There's also a fear of stigma and how it might impact their child. Mental health stigma can exacerbate feelings of guilt, shame, and self-blame. No one wants their child to be stigmatized for any reason. We discussed stigma in our last episode, and if you haven't seen it, please check it out. It's below in the description. Challenging this stigma, starting with your own perceptions, is crucial. Recognize that having a mental health condition is not a moral failing or a sign of weakness as a parent, but a part of the human condition that requires care. Just like a physical diagnosis would need care from a doctor, a mental illness or mental health diagnosis requires care from doctors, and usually a medication regimen to keep it in check. In navigating this journey, learning more about your child's diagnosis can help demystify the condition and reduce your feelings of guilt, shame, and self-blame. Understanding that mental health issues are complex and often influenced by a combination of genetic, biological, environmental, and psychological factors can help you see that it's not a result of lack or of bad parenting. To combat feelings of helplessness, many parents proactively seek information about their child's diagnosis and the best ways to support them. This can include researching treatment options, connecting with mental health professionals, and reaching out to support groups for advice and empathy from other parents who are in a similar situation. It's also important to be kind to yourself. Parenting is challenging enough, even in normal circumstances, and that no one is perfect. Recognize that feeling guilty or shamed is a sign that you care for your child very deeply. But also understand, and I had an issue with this, that those feelings are not productive or reflective of the reality of the situation. A lot of times I know this is easier said than done. I know, I've been there. As a mom, I can tell you that most mothers and parents frequently become fierce advocates for their child's needs, whether it's in an educational setting, within healthcare systems, or in social situations or contexts. They may push for accommodations. They may seek out the best therapies and work towards educating others about their child's condition to foster understanding and support. Educating others, advocating for mental health awareness, and being a voice against stigma can not only help your child, but also help you feel empowered. Taking action can transform negative feelings into positive changes, which is why Philip and I started this channel, to be a voice, not only for the patient or person being diagnosed, but for their parent, and a place where parents can ask questions if they don't know where to turn. I often wish that Philip and I had that option when he was diagnosed, because even though I work in the medical profession, knowing where to turn is half the battle. This journey often requires parents to develop a great deal of emotional resilience. We learn to navigate our own feelings while also being a source of strength and support for our children. This can involve finding healthy coping mechanisms, seeking support for themselves, and learning to celebrate small victories along the way. I personally believe over time, many parents and mothers move toward a place of acceptance and hope. Acceptance doesn't mean giving up. Rather, it's about acknowledging the reality of the situation while maintaining hope for their child's ability to lead a fulfilling life. Parents often find strength they didn't know they had, mothers especially, and many report that the experience brings them even closer to their child, fostering a deeper and more compassionate understanding of their condition. It's important to remember that while there are common themes regarding different diagnoses across mental health, each mother's experience or each parent's experience is deeply personal. Listening to parents' stories in their own words is crucial for understanding the nuanced and varied experiences of families navigating a child's mental health diagnosis. These stories can illuminate the changes, the triumphs, and the profound love that characterize the journey through a child's mental health condition, especially from a parent's perspective. If you like what we're doing on our channel, please like and subscribe below. The more likes we get, the more YouTube will widely distribute this on its platform, and we can reach more people. Your likes, shares, and comments have been really motivating and supportive. They have been crucial to both the development of this channel and our journey. If our content has impacted you or benefited you, please think about sharing it with other people. Forward this video to others if you think it may help, or if they may find it useful. Join us in trying to end the stigma of a mental health diagnosis, one video at a time. And remember, it's okay to feel and not be okay all of the time. You are not alone. Thank you so much for watching this first episode of Navigating a Mom's Perspective. We'll be releasing more videos like this in the future as part of our regular channel. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great evening, and we'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.